Today we're drawing the collared lizard. Get out your pencil and paper and follow along. This one here, and this one was in Oklahoma, and one over here, that was in Utah. And I like the Utah one. It was really hot and it had to put its feet up to not burn its little toes on the rock, but wanted to get a bit of sunshine, and once it did get sunshine it actually went into the shady bits and went hunting, then it come back out and bask again in the sunshine. I like that one there, but I've got a bit of detail on these ones here, which is good. This one here, so Oklahoma, it was very hot, and again it put its feet up. It's sort of funny, it's sort of sitting there but then put its feet up. So it's one of those little mannerisms. Again, I imagine that it was just after seeing the one in Utah, I imagine it was just trying to keep its little toes from burning. Maybe their toes are very sensitive. And also close to where I sketched this one here, I also sketched this diamondback rattlesnake. That was in the same area, Wichita Mountains. So of course it was a national park. I couldn't actually catch or touch these guys. I had to observe them from a distance. But still it was good watching them, just, you know, their behaviour and what they did. Very rewarding. Though the rattlesnake didn't do much at all, just sat there and looked at me. So from these sketches I'm going to do a drawing, which I may use as the basis of a print or something like that. Now I'm going to do a bit of scribbling. Here we go. First an oval shape here, maybe another oval shape there. I'm using shapes for a change. Connecting those, and then sort of two lines there, but you see how they're converging? They start there and they go in a little bit. And this one's toeing out like that, then it went down and then up and down. A flexible looking tail. And an oval, and you can be fairly scribbly. There's a long skinnier oval there. And then a bit of a few toes up like that, and here's another oval, really skinny ovals, and again feet going up. I'm doing like a half circle there, another half circle there, and a line there. So you can be very scribbly, because what you tend to do is after you've done all the scribbly lines here, you go over it in ink and then you rub all the scribbly pencil lines out. So there's a little bit of an eye there. I'm going to put a little bit of a smile on his face because I thought he was a happy little lizard. It's fun drawing happy little animals. So see what I'm doing there? I'm just sort of going the outlines of the face a little bit. Now the great thing about drawing natural things like animals is that they're not all exactly the same, so it doesn't matter if you've got something not quite right, you can often get away with it. Whereas if you was drawing a plane or a car and something didn't look quite right, you know, people would notice straight away. I'll bring some lines around there like that. See, a little bit of curve there makes the neck look like it's a bit more rounded. See here, I just do a little bit of shadow there because that leg's sort of, you know, under shadow because the sun sort of came down here. I'll just mark out those toes for the moment. Now a little bit of a tummy on him and a little bit of a wrinkly mark here, sort of like what dragons and monitors have. So I had really fine, almost velvety like scales. I know this because Lady Jennifer, she sort of described it to me, so it felt a little bit like a gecko. which are very soft. Now, what's in here, if we could sort of see the skeleton, we see actually hips in here, so I've got to sort of keep that in mind. So I'm going to put a little bit of a lump there. See that little bump there? Whereas in here, you'd have ribs, a bit of a backbone, and then into the tail. So it's good just to sort of try and imagine what's happening under the skin sometimes. I've probably done the head a little bit big, but I tend not to mind that. It's a little bit of a stylized one. Make that leg a little bit longer there. And those toes right up off there. A little bit of a leg there, and watch here again, I'll just sort of shade like that. This guy's sitting on a rock. Some adjustments to the head here. It's got a sort of a triangle thing happening here, which I haven't quite got here, so I'll just do a few adjustments here, make the head a little bit more shorter at the front. Nose holes are going to go up a bit. So I do a little corrections. Mouth will end about there, I think. So I leave room for an ear opening there. Back here, sort of spots. And rub it out just so I've got a better idea if it's right or not. Sometimes it gets hard to sort of see with all the scribble. So you see I'm actually just pushing that face in a little bit more, so it's a little bit more like a collared lizard. Now, a bit of a problem with this here, I want to probably change it from my sketch a bit. I'm actually going to give it a bit more of an elbow by making that leg go like that. Erase it a little bit. A little bit of shade there. And that's much better looking. Lady Jennifer and I, we often sort of find it amusing the backs of heads sometimes. And so I think I've exaggerated that too much. I better slim it down a little bit there. Tiny little micro changes you've got to do. So to push that in a bit, make that more of that sort of triangular shape there. Little spots on his face too. Beautiful little lizard. Like quite a lot of lizards, they often have one really big claw or big toe on their back foot. I think that sort of helps them launch off when they're running. Gives them a bit of extra speed, like it slingshots their whole body off when they run. And I'm just about ready to do some inking. Here and here I'll put some grass, I think. Pill flower style of grass. This is how I do grass, very easily. Let's take some of that out from the front. Very nice. Okay, and now I'm ready to start the inking. As you can see, it doesn't look like quite a finished drawing, but it's finished enough for me to put on the detail of the inking. I really just need a little bit of a guide there, and I'll get the nib out and I'll just start inking this up, which I find relaxing, enjoyable. I love it. Now if you don't have like a traditional nib like this, I mean, for me, I think this is just the best possible way of doing any sort of inking, is to use these nibs. But if you don't have these nibs, you can follow along with just a marker pen. So don't let that put you off. But anyway, here comes the inking next. So I have here my ink, a nib, I've got a Chinese brush, I've got my reference, I've got my sketch. I'm ready to start inking. I've got my dope sheet here, quite happy with that, and I'm ready to go. I like using the Chinese brush. You get a nice variety of thick and thin lines all on one brush. I'm using it just the underside of the lizard. Just give some heavy lines. If I touch really gently, I get some nice light lines as well. There we go. Now I'll put this away and I'll start with the nibs. Like I said, you can do this with just a normal pen that you can buy from the newsagent or the art shop. Little ink pen. if you don't want to use the ink, but I tell you, the old-fashioned ways are often the best. I want to put a little happy eye on him there, make him look sort of happy that he's in the sunshine. A friend from Utah just sort of had stripes like this, but the one from Oklahoma had bits like that on the black collar. So I might mark those in. Like a scalloped edge. I'm going to use a stippling to do the back. Now a stippling, what it is just lots and lots and lots of dots, but he's got some white spots here. So first of all, I'm going to mark in the white spots. It's always tricky when you're not using photographs, you're just going from a mixture of a rough sketch and memory. So I've come back to this about 10 minutes later, ready to rub out the pencil lines and see what I've got. And there is our lizard illustration. Very happy looking lizard. And that's the collared lizard drawing for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Check out some of my other drawing videos, comment, subscribe. See you later.